This is The World Now, bringing you the latest stories from around the globe. U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin have agreed to hold a face-to-face meeting in Budapest after a 2.5-hour phone call on Thursday, described by both sides as very productive. The planned summit will be their first in-person meeting since August and signals a renewed diplomatic effort between Washington and Moscow. Trump said Secretary of State Marco Rubio will head a team of senior advisors meeting Russian Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov next week to prepare the agenda. Putin's aides called the exchange extremely frank and trustful, while Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán hailed the planned meeting as great news for peace. The call between Trump and Putin came just before Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelenskyy arrived in Washington for talks on air defense and long-range missiles. In the U.S., former National Security Advisor John Bolton was indicted on Thursday on 18 counts for keeping top-secret records at home and sharing classified notes with family members. Prosecutors say Iranian-linked hackers breached Bolton's email in 2021, exposing sensitive material he had shared. They allege he failed to tell the FBI that classified information had been compromised. The charges follow FBI searches of his Maryland home and Washington office for records retained from his time in government. Court documents say Bolton shared more than 1,000 pages of daily notes and intelligence on foreign adversaries, including missile launch plans and covert operations. Attorney General Pam Bondi said no one is above the law and that abuse of power endangering national security will be punished. Bolton's lawyer called the case baseless, arguing that, like many officials, Bolton kept personal diaries and said Bolton did not unlawfully share or store classified information. In Peru, at least one person was killed and dozens of police officers injured on Wednesday night as thousands of protesters clashed with security forces outside Congress in Lima. The protesters are demanding action on corruption and rising crime. Police fired tear gas as demonstrators chanted "Everyone must go" and tried to tear down metal barriers. Officials say 32-year-old Eduardo Mauricio Ruiz died of a gunshot wound. A police officer accused of firing the shot has been suspended. Government says 89 police and 22 civilians were injured in the protests, with 11 arrests. The protests come less than a week after former President Dina Boluarte was impeached. Her replacement, President José Herri, expressed regret, promising an objective investigation and blaming violence on delinquents who infiltrated a peaceful protest. Uruguay has become the first country in Latin America to legalize euthanasia after senators in Montevideo on Wednesday passed the dignified death bill by 20 votes to 11. The new law allows mentally sound adults in the terminal stage of an irreversible illness to request euthanasia carried out by a healthcare professional. Supporters say the measure reflects Uruguay's long tradition of progressive laws, which includes same-sex marriage, abortion, and the legalization of marijuana. Senator Patricia Kramer said public opinion demanded the change, with polls showing 62% support nationwide. 추지현, ArirangNews.